Thanks for starting your day off with us here at Good Morning Arklamis. I'm Taylor Yakowenko. We have some breaking news for you this morning. A possible shooting at Grambling State University. Mr. Wonder has to register as a sex offender after all. Still no answer from Monroe Mayor Jamie Mayo on why he gave 2 keys to the city to Minister Louis Farrakhan. Police say a man left a suitcase in the parking lot of the Walmart on Glenwood Drive. Let's get started on this episode of Classroom Cribs. Time to pull out the lawn chairs and let the good times roll. This is the first time I have ever been nervous about one of the animals, Lisa, that you have brought on the show. New details in the burning death of a 6-month-old in Natchitoches. The 2 people accused in Levi Ellerby's death are facing more charges. Authorities say Levi's mother, Hannah Barker, and Felicia Marie Nicole Smith are also charged with criminal conspiracy. Barker told authorities 2 people came to her home, sprayed her with mace, and stole the child. Meanwhile, in West Monroe, police have arrested one of 2 suspects in connection to a shooting on Keller Street. Washtenaw Parish deputies arrested William Morgan Kane on 2 counts of simple battery and 1 count of attempted second-degree murder. This is the second time there's been a shooting at that specific home on Keller Street. Police are still looking for a second suspect, Dylan Langley. They say he should be considered armed and dangerous. If you have any information, you're asked to call the sheriff's office. An online petition is demanding stricter penalties on those who violate school bus laws. The petition wants White House leaders to make bus stop safety a federal law. The push comes after a number of children across the country have been hit and killed while trying to board buses this school year. The penalties included in the petition are 30-day jail sentences, a 90-day driver's license suspension, and a minimum fine of $5,000. One parent says she's glad she drives her kids to school. More than 1 million unwanted pets are off the streets and out of the shelters here in Northeast Louisiana, thanks to the nonprofit group Paws Nila. For today's Good News Friday, we're looking at how the organization was able to reach this major milestone. And they're also celebrating a pretty big birthday this year. And Kate, you are in the show. Talk to us a little bit about what you're doing in the show.
I play as a chorus member, a part of the line, and we are going through the audition process of a show, and it's very rigorous, and there's a lot of dancing, and it's just a fun time all around.
Yeah, and you guys have been rehearsing this now for a couple months.
It's been about 6 or 7 weeks. They've been rehearsing, learning different songs. You know, there's about almost 70 kids in it between the ages of 8 and 18.
Wow.
And the story kind of follows along, sort of like a chorus line, as she was hinting. You know, they're auditioning for a big show, and the older kids really have kind of the brunt of the story.
Yeah.
You know, telling their stories and then leading into a lot of the songs that we do.
And the cool thing about this show is that you guys are kind of playing extreme versions of yourselves. Talk to me a little bit about what that's like.
I just got to do that.
Whoa! I do not want to be in the middle of this right now. Oh my goodness. Within moments of meeting Brandon Beard and his family, it was easy to see why Harrisonburg Police Chief Lindell Atkins says the teenager makes all of his officers smile. Brandon is full of an infectious energy that just makes you happy. And if you talk with him for even a moment, he'll tell you that he loves law enforcement. It's a love that started when he was just a little boy watching Walker, Texas Ranger on TV. Well, the Make-A-Wish Foundation found out and made Brandon's biggest wish come true.
When Brandon was little and other kids was watching Scooby-Doo, Brandon was watching Walker.
He has loved Walker since he was old enough to watch TV.
If you ask his parents, they'll both tell you the same thing. Brandon Beard has been a fan of Walker, Texas Ranger for as long as he's been able to watch television.
He owns every episode. He's watched them. We probably bought them a couple of times. He's wore them out.
And that love of Chuck Norris in uniform carried over into a real-life love and appreciation for the men and women who protect and serve our communities every day.
We would go in a place and there would be a cop, and he would go over, he would give a handshake.
Chief Lindell Atkins can attest Brandon has never met an officer who didn't become a fast friend.
You don't have to try to meet Brandon. Brandon's going to make sure you meet him, because if he sees a law enforcement officer, he's coming to meet him. And he walked up to me the first day he met me and gave me a hug. I think that particular time, a hug and a handshake, and from then on we've had a real strong bond.
So the Beards reached out to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and when they found out about Brandon and his dreams of meeting his hero, the real-life Walker, Texas Ranger, well, the foundation jumped into action. After a few months of waiting, the Beards got that call.
They rented us a car, and we drove there that night.
The family was off to Dallas, Texas.
From the moment that we got there, we really felt like we were very important people because they made us feel that way.
And it was the star treatment all weekend, limousines and valet parking, and most importantly, meeting the man, the legend, Chuck Norris.
The look on his face when Walker walked in, it was just amazing. He was in shock. And then when he finally realized it was real, then it was just, there was nobody else but him and Chuck Norris there.
Brandon's parents say it was one of the happiest moments of their lives, watching their boy's dreams come true before their very eyes.
Just the most wonderful feeling that I've ever had in my life.
A few rounds of arm wrestling, plenty of hugs, and a whole bunch of photos. This is one trip Brandon Beard will never forget.
Make-A-Wish is the real deal. They made my baby's dream come true.
And law enforcement runs in Brandon's family. His great-grandfather was the town marshal for 11 years. His photo still hangs above the door to the chief's office even today. And his parents tell me Brandon is even named after him.